Today we're doing an Asian-inspired glazed pork and rice. The rice, we use ground chicken, so the rice can be 100% carnivore, and whatever seasonings and glaze you add is up to you. So stick around to see how I make this. Howdy, this is Terry, and I've lost 180 pounds with keto, carnivore, and counting calories. Don't forget to click that like button and look at the description of this video. I have all kinds of links, and on my homepage you'll see a bunch of playlists for how I lost my weight. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. So my last video I showed you how I make my rice chicken. Today I'm going to show you how I use my rice chicken. So to start off, I am low carb. I am no longer strict keto or carnivore, but so I use sauces and a lot of seasonings. So you have to tailor this to however you live your life. I've reached my goal and I am living my life now. I've been maintaining for a year, but this is something that you can do on your own and as you're losing. This is actually toasted sesame oil. That's what I'm going to use to cook up my butterfly pork chops. It's actually a mixture of butterfly pork chops and boneless chops. So you use whatever works for you and the way you're eating. But these are what I'm going to use today. So now I'm going to cook these until they are done. We're going to check them in 4 minutes. I'm actually going to go ahead and cover them. Then we'll check them in 4 minutes. Alrighty, the timer just went off. Let's see where we're at here. These are pretty thin. Well, that one's not so thin. Anyway, so alright, let's set the timer again for, let's see, we'll set it for 4 minutes. I'm not going to season them with salt and pepper until we're actually cooking. So I'm going to do 3 minutes and then we'll pull them out and let them rest, and then we'll get the rest of them done. But I'll show you where they're at in 3 more minutes. Okay, it is done. So I'm going to go ahead and pull them out. I'm going to put them into this pan or this dish and let them rest. And then I'm going to finish the others. And when the others are all done, we'll get back together. And then we'll go to the next step. But first I'm going to finish those. For the next step, I'm going to be cutting up the pork chops. I'm cutting it in thirds this way. And then I'm going to cut them in bite-sized pieces. You make them as big or as little as you want them. Having a glove just kind of helps me keep my hands dry, and I don't know, actually kind of helps hold the meat better. So now I'm going to get these cut up into bite-sized pieces, and I'll be back when all that stuff is done. This part of the recipe is going to be very individualized. You know what you can eat. You know what you're okay splurging your calories and carbohydrates and whatever on. So this is 100% individualized. So I am going to add some seasonings to this. I've got everything chopped up, but I'm going to add some seasonings that make me think Asian. For me, pork is similar to chicken in the sense of it is very bland. So salt, I'm going to be using some salt. This is just plain salt. I happen to have Redmond's real salt. You use whatever you like. I'm going to preheat the oven to 400 degrees. And so that was salt. This is some onion salt. So I feel like onion salt, onion powder. will give me a mindset of Asian. Also garlic salt. I feel like this garlic will also put me in the mindset. And then I'm also going to add a little bit of just plain seasoning salt. Again, you add whatever works for you and your taste buds. I'm just adding it all right now. And then I'm going to kind of stir it up here a little bit. I put it back in my skillet. A cast iron skillet is not mandatory. It's just I needed a big enough one to hold everything. And in the end, I don't know if it's going to hold everything anyway. But that's all right. I might have to do this in batches. But for the initial part of what I'm going to do, this will work. So right now I'm just stirring it up. I'm going to take a bite of one and make sure it's enough seasoning. I might feel like I need to add more. And then we're going to add the actual sauces. Let me get one that looks like it's a little more done. That's good. If you happen to be strict carnivore, omit this step and just add whatever seasonings you feel are good. And then at this stage, you'll still be able to do the rest of it. But again, if you're strict carnivore, you would not want the rest of this. I'm going to use some sugar-free. This is G. Hughes General So Stir Fry. I'm going to be making this kind of like a glazed pork. So right now I'm adding the glazed to it. I'm going to add, I want a little kick. So this is G. Hughes Sweet Chili. And I've got some G. Hughes Stir Fry. I do hear my hound winding up in the other room, so it might get a little loud in a minute. I don't know. He saw somebody. I heard him out. He's in the living room and heard him winding up. This is Polynesian sauce. Again, if you're counting and you're really strict, omit this. Then this is sugar-free pineapple ginger marinade. I'm adding it right now because I want it all to heat up and kind of get a chance to mix the flavors together before we go to the next step. So I've got my oven heating to 400, and it doesn't matter if it reaches 400 per se. I'm just wanting that's going to be more for browning it and kind of glazing it. I don't know if that's how you do a glaze. Remember, I'm not a professional chef. I'm just a weirdo who likes to eat. So, just making sure all that is on as much of it as possible. Okay. Back here and there. I am going to go ahead and set this cast iron skillet into my oven. Like I said, it has not reached 400 degrees, but I'm okay with that. Let me get a pot holder. Get back, Calvin. So I'm going to put it in. And we're going to check it in about 5 minutes. Let's take a look and see how it's doing. Been 5 minutes. Stir it up a little bit. I know it's not like candied, so it's not going to be like, you know, like glazed, but it's going to be good though. It's going to be good. So I'm going to do it another 5 minutes. Go on and pull it out. This next step you're gonna have to be very careful with if you overfill it like I did. My rice is not hot, it's room temperature, and so I want it to mix in with the pork, but I don't want to spill it all over the place. Where's my, oh, there it is. I don't want to spill it, so I have to do this very delicately. I want it to get in and absorb the flavors of our glaze, our sauce. I want it all to be, they call that married together. So I'm going to carefully, very carefully, try to stir it all together. Just don't make as big of a batch as I did, and you should be okay. But it's just how I do. When you're eating this, you might find that you need to add some more salt or flavoring. Remember, our rice chicken is bland. So yesterday you would have seen how I made this, the rice chicken, and today you're seeing how I'm using my rice chicken. So the chicken was, I showed you all yesterday how I dry it through, cooking it in the skillet, and it was actually this same skillet. When I started and I just added it, there was a lot of moisture down in here. Well, that moisture was sucked up by the chicken because, like rice, it was very dry, and it was dried out. So now we're going to put this back in this 400-degree oven for about 5 more minutes. Let it all kind of just heat up together, and I'll see you in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Let's go on and pull it out and see what we think. That's gonna be yummy yum. I'm gonna plate some up and we will give it a taste. I'll plate it up and let it cool first. So look at that. That's gonna be delicious. All right, let's see what we think about the taste. We may need more of this, that, and the other. Who knows? Yeah. Yup. You need to get you some of this. Glazed pork with rice chicken. I know I've made it in the past, but that's because I like it. And it's good stuff, Maynard. So, yeah, make you some of this. You saw how easy it was to make your own rice in the last video. And you could use beef, you can use pork, you could even use chicken with rice chicken, Asian style.